Hey, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of Tune Quest. Just before we begin, there's a link to a free online course and community called Unlock the Keyboard below. Check it out. Alright, today we're looking at Jack Harlow's new track, Hello Miss Johnson. And I'm going to be teaching you how to play the chords and the rhythm of this song, right? Now, this is a really great Latin type beat, so if you don't have much rhythmic language on the keys, this will hopefully teach you a lot. And the chords are really cool as well. They're really kind of like jazzy chords. Alright, let's jump into it. Let me just play you a snippet. I'm on my electric piano today, because come on, that's funky. Alright, this is what it's gonna be like. Alright, that's just a little snippet from it. Let me jump straight into this tutorial. So our first chord is an A minor 9, right? Now we're playing kind of like this funky bass line in the left hand, alright? So we start with an A, right? Simply play an A down here. And in the right hand, you want to make a C major triad here, right? C, E, and G. And then with the pinky, you want to play a B. And you're going to create a C major 7. Which is a beautiful chord in its own right. But if we put this A on the bass, we get an A minor 9, right? So that's a really nice chord. That's the first chord in this progression, right? So that's the first chord. Now the second chord, we walk up this left hand bass like this. Do, 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 right? Do, do, do. It's a chromatic walk up to the B, right? Now in the right hand, the chord changes from this to this. This is a B major chord, right? Quite simple. So this is a B major in its first inversion, right? Because if we play it like this is B major in root position. We're just taking that root note, B, and we're putting it up here, right? So that's the second chord. And then that top note goes down to B7. Right, sorry, to the A there, right? Right, so it kind of goes like this. Alright, now those are the chords, but of course the rhythm is what's more important here, right? So it's kind of like this funky interplay between the hands, right? Sorry. Alright, so the hands are never playing together, right? Let me play it really slowly for you. It's a little bit tricky to teach this stuff. It's kind of like a rhythmic language that I've acquired over the years. Just play it really slowly. Do da do da do do da ba boom. Right. So the hands are kind of, there's this interplay where the one hand goes, then the other hand goes. Right. So right. So that's the A, and then you do the walk up thing. Let me play it as slowly as I can, just so that you can really nail this. Okay? Sweet. Just work through that, and you'll definitely get it. And then the next chord is this. Alright, so that sounds really fancy, E7 sus2, but don't worry about that fancy chord jargon. It's not that important. Basically, we've got an E bass, right? And then in the right hand, B minor triad. Right? This is the power of triads. You can play a triad like this, and if you change the root note, right, we'll have the root note as G here, right? This is just a B minor triad. We'll have the root note as a G, you get that chord. Root note as an E, you get that chord. Root note as a C, you get that chord, okay? So that's just a demonstration of the power of triads. They are so powerful. They are a foundational basic, and if you practice your triads, that is the foundation for all advanced chords that you want to play and that you want to sound like on the keys, okay? So if you want to make cool chords, learn all your triads. And if you want help with that, I've got an entire module, an entire video series on just triads and how to build them in the free course. It's literally free. You can sign up below. Check it out. Alright, so that's the chord, right? So it's again the same interplay where you're going do da, right? Do da, right? And then you do this walk down thing, right? So we're walking down from this E to the D down to the C sharp, right? And now the chord changes ever so slightly to this here, right? So this is a B sus2. Basically, all we're doing is we're taking this chord, this B minor, which we've already got, and we're lowering this D down a half step, right? Again, the same interplay, right? So, right? Right? So this keeps going. This repeats about 3 times, right? So one more time. And then the end of the chord progression goes like this. Okay, so that might sound and look a little bit tricky, but it's not too far off what we've already got, okay? So basically, we've got the same A minor chord. We're just playing it in this position, right? So this is root position, A minor. Right, again, the same rhythm. Do-da, 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 right? And then the left hand bass line, right? It does a little walk down thing, which it's kind of the same to this walk down. It's just here, from A to G to F sharp, right? And then you have this chord is basically the same over this F sharp, which creates an F sharp minor 7 flat 5 chord, right? So I said at the start of the tutorial there might be some like kind of cool jazzy chords that you can learn from this. If this is a new chord to you, then that's really great. What we're doing here is actually what's called a minor 2-5-1 movement. Okay, so this is a minor 2, right? Don't worry if this is too complicated. I'll try my best to explain it. This is a minor 2 chord because the next chord we play is B major in root position. So basically, our left hand now, the bass is playing a B root note, and then the right hand is playing the B major triad, right? And then this is resolving to this chord again, right? So, right? Right? Now, why is it a minor 2-5-1? Because basically, we're targeting this E minor, right? So very briefly, this E minor is going to be our 1 chord that we're targeting, right? So which means that this chord, this F sharp minor 7 flat 5 is our 2 chord, right? And then that means that this B major is our 5 chord, which resolves perfectly to this minor 1. Okay, so that's kind of how a minor 2-5-1 works, and that's why this sounds so good, right? And then there's this thing. Okay, what is that? What is that? That's a cool chord movement. It's kind of a similar type thing. It's a 2-5-1, but I'm not going to get too far into theory here. Okay, I feel like I've already explained too much theory in this video. You might not have expected theory. So basically, we go from this E down to a D, right? And in the right hand, simply create an F major 7 chord. Now that's like this C major 7 chord we looked at before, right? Simply create the F major triad and then play this E up here with the pinky, and you're gonna get this F major 7 chord, right? Again, it's the same rhythmic interplay, right? And then the left hand goes up to a G here, right? Play that with the thumb. Right, now what do we do here in the right hand? Simply move this middle finger to a B. And you're gonna get this nice chord, G9 13, right? Chords aren't that hard. It's really, like, we're only changing 2 notes here, and we're getting this lovely chord movement. Right, and then that goes back to the start of the progression. Alright, so that's the whole progression, and I really hope that you can work through this and really get that rhythmic language. Remember, it's just this interplay. If you're really struggling, try to drum it out, right? You can just drum it out like doom da do da doom da da doom da do da doom da da, right? You really want to feel it in your body, okay? I feel like our bodies have this kind of natural relationship with rhythm. If you tap into that in your body, you really feel it in your body, trust your ear, really, really try to get into that rhythm. Again, it might take a little bit of practice to get, because this is rhythmic language that I've acquired over the years. It will take practice, but hopefully you've at least learned some chord language. Now, let me just play you a little bit of melody, because of course I can't really teach you Jack's melody in this, because there isn't really one. And that's kind of the charm of the song. He's kind of just like, that's hip hop though. That's rap, like mostly. It's not very melodic. It's more rhythmic, right? It's more based on the lyrics. So what I can teach you is the ba ba da da da, right? So that goes like this, right? Yeah, it's like that, okay? So it's the same progression, but of course, because we don't have both of our hands, our right hand is now playing a melody, we need our left hand to cover those chords, okay? So this is what we're going to do, right? A minor 7 here in the left hand, right? A, C, E, and G. Right? And then that goes up to a B7, right? B, D sharp, F sharp, A. And the rhythm that we're going to do here is like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. It's got this 1, 2, pause. 1, 2, pause, 1, right? 1, 2, right? There's a little slight pause in there. Right? Da, 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 da. You can hear that pause, right? And then it goes up to this E minor 7 chord, right? Again, E, G, B, and we're adding the 7 here, which is D. Now, then it goes down to this here. Okay, so this is an interesting chord. It's kind of like an A major chord, but don't worry too much about what it is. I mean, there it's telling us it's a D flat minor, whatever, it doesn't matter. You've got a C sharp and an A. Again, the same rhythm. 1, 2, 1, right? 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, right? So that's kind of the left hand, right? Now, the right hand is going to follow exactly the same rhythm, okay? So it just needs to play at the same time that the left hand plays, and then you're good, right? The melody is like this. Right, so it starts on that D, 1, 2, and then down to the B, and then 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, goes up to that C, and then it does the same pattern starting on the C, enclosing this B, right? So, right, with the left hand. Right? And then we have this. Right, so again, that's... Right, so... Right? So that's the first time around, and then the second time around is very similar, where it starts going up like this. Right, sorry, starts on D. Right, so da, 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 and then that thing again, and then this bit, right? Right, so the whole thing together. Let me play that slowly. I was playing at normal speed. And then the last one just stays on that E minor. Right? Now, if you did want to play some kind of melody that Jack sings, you could do this, where you're like mostly playing on an E and then like a B, right? So that might be like this. You got to maintain that same kind of... Sorry, I started just jamming there. Yeah, it's quite tricky to teach melody with hip-hop song or, you know, like rap songs like this. So what I like to teach instead is how you can like jam along on it, like what I was doing there, right? Okay, so what was I doing there? I was jamming on the E minor blues scale. Okay, so the E minor blues scale is this here. E, G, A sharp, B, D, E. Right? These notes here. Now, if you're new to all of this, simply play the chords straight. Don't worry about any rhythms and just play any of those notes. Alright, I hope this tutorial was helpful to you, and I hope that you can at least play that and jam along with it, or otherwise you've hopefully learned something from this tutorial, maybe some chord stuff, maybe some rhythmic stuff. Honestly, if you want help with your keyboard playing, with your piano playing, I'm here to help. I've got an entire free course for you to learn from. So much free material, literally 9 modules worth. On pretty much everything that you need to know at a beginner level going to an intermediate level, okay? So check that out below. I'm here to help. Ask questions if you need help. And this is actually the first Jack Harlow song I've ever heard. I just saw it pop up and I'm like, wow, that's a jam. Let me know what other song I should hit from him. I'm happy to cover whatever if there's something cool. Thank you so much. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and join the community. And that's about everything. Stay inspired. See you next time.